What's up? So, Ubisoft got roasted by Dreamcast Guy. He's calling them the worst company in gaming, blaming them for everything from microtransactions to the collapse of fun. But here's the thing, when you peel back the outrage a little bit and just look at facts, a lot of those arguments fall apart fast. So today we're breaking down the hottest takes and hitting back with the real story. Ubisoft's not innocent, but they're not sane either. Let's get into it.
Company is by far the most hated publisher in the entire industry. I mean, look at their stock price. The fact that they're down 90% in just the last couple of years.
Ubisoft is the most hated publisher in the industry. I mean, that title switches hands weekly is the problem between EA, Activision, Blizzard, whoever delays their game next. You know what I'm saying? This is just internet's flavor of the month type of outrage, in my opinion.
But it really comes down to more than that. I think that gamers have a good memory. People remember the fact that a lot of the aspects of gaming right now that people hate the most were literally directly invented by Ubisoft. Stuff like crappy annualized games that feel like basic rehashes for easy money, microtransactions in full-price single-player games, constant online BS.
Well, when you have 7 billion staff, you have to think of ways to pay them, don't you?
Even the fact that they keep canceling stuff, and basically every part of Ubisoft drives me nuts. But I want to talk about this today because their CEO, he released some statements this weekend that have the internet
Ooh, he's cute.
very pissed off, and I wanted to sort of give my 2 cents. Hi, hope you're having a great day.
Jay's 2 cents. Isn't that a YouTube channel? I don't know why that popped in my head. Anyway.
And if you could, please, give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Remember when Assassin's Creed was good? Okay, anyways. Ubisoft CEO is very directly against the Stop Killing Games initiative. Now, I wanted to start with this. We're also going to talk about the fact
I don't understand why he has to show something to the camera every freaking video. Like, just to prove he plays games. Whatever. I don't get it. Anyway. He's mad, the Ubisoft CEO. Like, what if I was just like this all the time? Hey, look, guys. Look, I play video games. Look. Stupid. This actually is a cool controller, though. It's the camo PS5 controller. And I don't have a PS5, I just wanted the controller. But anyway, so he's mad the Ubisoft CEO is against the Stop Killing Games initiative, it sounds like. But there's kind of a catch to that. The movement is idealistic, I would say, not practical. You can't force companies to run servers forever. You just can't. Especially for games with dwindling player bases. Preservation is important, but it's not free, and pretending it's free, it's just unrealistic.
that they claim microtransactions make games more fun, psychotic. But let me go into this. So, Stop Killing Games is a big initiative right now that we talked about on the channel. A lot of the internet has been very much buzzing about Stop Killing Games, where essentially people are trying to ask that there is some sort of enforcement that if you have an online game, it's never disabled later. Meaning that if you're playing a game like The Crew, this is actually one of the things that initially started it. The Crew was sort of a racing MMORPG invented by Ubisoft. And honestly,
I never did play The Crew. You could probably still find the game on like I don't know, would it be on like Steam Rip or something, maybe?
the game is pretty fantastic. It was cool to just be driving along and see other players start random races, do random objectives. You win a street race and you get a direct upgrade to your car. The Crew is fantastic. It was really fun, and now it's gone. They shut it down. They just flipped the servers off. And a lot of people are pissed because
Yeah, it sucks it's gone, but it's also a 10-year-old game with licensing tied to music, cars, and multiplayer systems. people want Ubisoft to hold on to those rights forever. Like forever, ever. That's not how IP contracts work.
Because it's not just, hey, the game I like is gone. It's the fact that, hey, what about the people that bought that game for $70? What about the people that paid microtransactions? What about the people that put time and effort and DLC into it, and now it's all just unmade? Which started off this sort of big lawsuit.
As my old teacher would say, what if an elephant fell on your head? As in, get over it, move on. No, I'm kidding. I'm actually for this. I would like for games to stop just disappearing. And this whole new payment processor thing is kind of itching me the wrong way too. They should not have that much power. I'll cover that issue more some other time, but oh man, it's crazy shit.
Where people are basically saying, okay, I'm not asking for infinite support. I'm not asking for patches into 2028 or whatever. I'm just saying that when a game goes offline, there needs to be some ability to still play it, even if it's a limited capacity, even if it's only a couple of the modes. I don't want a game I already bought to be disappeared from my library retroactively. And essentially he said this. Now, this quote right here, a lot of people are making fun of it. You're provided a service, but nothing is written in stone. And at some point, that service may discontinued. Nothing is eternal. Now, I love this top comment. This is so perfect.
Top comment.
Notice how he says service instead of game. He just explained the problem. He is the problem. This is kind of wild. That I think the thing that really drives me the most nuts.
Service versus game. Most online games are services. That's not evil, that's architecture if you think about it. So, if you're gonna argue for permanent access, that's cool, man. Like, fine. But we have to hold Valve, EA, and Nintendo at the same standards too.
About this games as a service ethos that's currently been very much leeching off the industry. I'm still in a spot where I feel like games are best when they have a story, a crazy soundtrack, cool character design, stuff like that, right? Whereas a lot of this live service crap, they do it backwards. They go, okay, how can we make something that's fun enough to get you to play it, to get you to want to participate in the seasonal quests? What can we do to basically keep taking your money and keep taking your time? And people like Izguimo, he clearly thought they could do that forever. Just keep making crappy, lazy Assassin's Creed games back to back to back to back to back. And hey, you'll pay for it forever. Eat up that little slop, piggies. And now
A lot of people are.
that it's blown up, he's like, well,
I haven't played a Assassin's Creed since Black Flag was the last one I played and enjoyed.
we don't really owe you anything. We could just disable all our games right now and keep your money, and you can just eat it. Now, here's the other quote that is 10 times worse. I have seen a million people making fun of this. I want to start, though. Ubisoft claims that putting
Microtransactions could be bad, you know, but let's not act like boosters are a war crime. No one's forcing you to buy XP packs in a single player game. I mean, yeah, they probably shouldn't be in there, but if Ubisoft tunes the grind to push sales, that's a problem. But the idea of offering time savers itself is optional. And then there's some irony to this. Dreamcast guy admits to liking Star Wars Outlaws. Did he pay to skip, or did he actually just play the game? You know what I'm saying?
transactions into single-player games like Assassin's Creed Shadows make them more fun to play. They argue it's because players can progress more quickly if they pay for boosters. Now, Ubisoft invented this. I want to make that incredibly clear when we talk about this. They have come up with this concept that they like to
Oh my god, I can't stand how he talks.
call
Sorry.
time savers, where essentially, say you're playing something like, one of the first games that I saw that really did this hardcore was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but a bunch of Assassin's Creed games did this, especially Odyssey. But basically the idea was that while you're exploring, you will occasionally encounter stuff that's too high level, and you got to go out and grind. You got to get better gear, you got to do little side stuff. And that grind is part of it. But there are times where you want to see that next big story moment. You want to get to that next boss. They essentially allow you to buy crafting materials, better gear, or straight up XP. Now they call it time savers. Like, hey, you're trying to get to that next thing. We're on your side, buddy. Just pay $5. Just pay $3. And this to me is so incredibly stupid. And a lot of people have immediately said, okay, then in that case, the game is badly designed. If you're actually making it so microtransactions can save you time, then you know there are aspects of this game that are purposefully wasting your time. Now I want to take a look at 3 separate replies here. Even when they're on the verge of dying as a company, Ubisoft's inability to read the room is utterly astounding. I mean, I love the fact that everybody is very much talking about this. Ubisoft is a company that deliberately puts out crappy, unfun games that are a slog like Assassin's Creed Shadows or Star Wars Outlaws with the express purpose of squeezing money out of people that just want to get through that game faster. F them. Look at this. It's so interesting. They're always on the cutting edge of terrible stuff in the...
Welcome to the digital age of where nobody owns their games. Steam has the same EULA, Epic, Sony, Microsoft. Ubisoft's not unique. They're just they're the ones easy to hate.
Industry. Their CEO is, you don't own your games that you've paid for. That's right. Ubisoft literally are the people that came up with the quote that said, even though you actually own this disc, if you read the fine print in this huge block of legal disclaimers, it says, hey, this is our property, bitch. You can play it. We're allowing you to look at it, but as soon as we don't want to, we can legally just delete it off your system. Good luck, have fun. Look at this. We don't hate Ubisoft nearly enough. Now, this actually was the tweet that inspired this video. Look at this. 18,000 likes for just these 7 words, right? Look at that. The only thing that's not optional is the developers inconveniencing the players to funnel them towards microtransactions. I went through this song and dance all the way back in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It 100% impacts the game design for the players who choose not to engage with the microtransactions. People very much understand that this is what's making not just Ubisoft worse, but gaming in general worse, is that they think of this in the wrong order. And I think it's having a permanent effect on a lot of different games, which...
I mean, Helldivers 2 exists, and that's monetized. I don't know. I don't think AAA hasn't died. It's just bloated. AA games aren't dead either. They just don't get Game Award clout, really.
Is that they think, okay, we want the map to be this big. All right, now working backwards from that, how much story can we put into this big map? Okay, we want to have this amount of microtransactions. That means, all right, now do we work backwards from that? How grindy can we make it before the player actually quits? I do honestly think that one of the reasons that Star Wars Outlaws failed, now I know I'm the one person in the world, I did actually kind of like Star Wars Outlaws, as busted and bad as it was. As a person that doesn't really like Star Wars, I kind of like the fact that there wasn't a lot of Jedi and stuff. You kind of just got a chance to cruise around. But it was very obvious that that game was very poorly built. Instant fail stealth missions, very structured areas that didn't work, a lot of independent missions that don't connect to each other story-wise. But basically, their excuses is, oh, there were just some design issues. Oh, people were just not interested in Star Wars. This is ridiculous cope. And I honestly think that this is, again, just a sign about the fact that I feel like the industry is hitting this weird brick wall that I'm happy we're hitting it, but it's funny that these CEOs didn't see this coming, right? Which is the fact that all these games are made.
I mean, he's right about one thing. Gaming is a gamble, but you know what's more insane than making bets? Acting like every game should hit. And blaming one company for industry-wide changes that have been happening for a decade. Know what I'm saying?
To be profitable and predatory, and necessarily that becomes symbiotic to them. It's no longer about making a cool game. It's no longer about getting you excited. It's no longer about...
Does Dreamcast Guy have a P.O. box? If you guys know, let me know in the comments. I want to send him a hat because I can make hats and shirts and shit. I want to send him a hat that says "Dumbcast Guy."
rewarding fans and stuff. It is literally just monetization as a form of like making yourself into a monster. I want to end it with this tweet. This is a tweet I've honestly had pulled up now for like, God, almost 2 weeks because I think it is brilliant.
Welcome to YouTube, where half your content is based off tweets on Twitter and Reddit. That's
A lot of CEOs, especially people like Izgimo, a lot of people in a lot of the industry.
I might be doing some lazy reactions and shit, but I still get on and fucking play games and shit. When was the last time Dreamcast Guy did that? Does he even play games? Besides, I mean, he shows his controller, but that don't tell us nothing.
Sure, talking about, oh, no one wants to buy games.
All right, look at my channel history. Almost every night, I'm grinding some game out on live stream. People like games, you know. Let's play them and talk about them.
Nobody wants anybody. The goal now is they try to get you addicted to a live service. It's not even about the fun. It's about, oh, the fear of quitting, right? I want to get you so hooked on it, you never get a chance to try anything outside of our profitable ecosystem. But
oh, man, I crave some KFC all of a sudden, bro. I haven't had KFC in like 20 years. I'm not even joking. I kind of stopped eating fast food. It's just the more and more I learn about how the food's made and shit, it just it irks me. But when I was in California, there was a lot of good fast food chain restaurants like In-N-Out and shit. But where I live now is not nearly as good. I don't know what happened.
This is the head of PR for Larian, which is Baldur's Gate 3. Honestly, one of the best games ever made. I think one of the fundamental misunderstandings is the idea that players want free games. They want good games. They can be free to play, they can be paid, but they need to be good. This is the binding truth that has always existed and will always exist in the industry as we know it. You can't avoid that this is a hit-based industry. Games do got to be big and very, very high selling at this point in order to break even. The problem is that there isn't enough mind space for the amount of games that would be ideally be hits. Therefore, the majority can't be hits even if they're good. In 2025, the majority of successes and failures are not foreseen. From a business perspective, it's actually insane. If I were a CEO or a CFO looking at a gaming division, I would probably see it more and less like a gambling den where nobody is able to explain to me reliably why I should believe these expensive bets pay off. Something that we had in the past that has very much died recently, that I'm kind of afraid is gone, is doubling. We used to have indies, of course, which a lot of people used to call single A, which are games typically made for like a couple $100,000, which obviously is a very large chunk of change, but for the sake of making an entire world with a full team and stuff, making a game for under $1 million, that's considered cheap in this industry. And then double A, where the game is made for about $10 million.
Is this video over yet?
Triple A, games made for hundreds of millions of dollars. And Ubisoft, in a way, because they had so much money at the time, kept churning out AAA games that were huge and ballooned budget and incredibly long and incredibly big worlds, but they sucked. And I almost think they created this terrible vacuum black hole that killed AA and now has killed AAA. Now a lot of AA stuff, people would say, "Oh, this game doesn't look good enough. I don't accept how this currently looks." But at the same time, people are saying AAA. I'll be honest, Ubisoft AAA is the first time I heard people refer to any game as slop, filler slop. And this AAA slop, as cheap as it looks, as bad as...
Oh, man. AAA slop, the new buzzword, I feel like. Huh? Gamers still line up to buy it, bro. Maybe the problem isn't actually Ubisoft, it's that people want big budget open worlds, and they get mad they're too big. Oh my god, this is incredible. Yeah, keep dreaming. Keep dreaming. We're gonna end it here. But I wanna start a new thing. Since my channel name is Gaming Samurai, at the end of every video I wanna say a cool quote from a samurai, like a proverb. And today's gonna be: a warrior does not complain about the path. He sharpens his blade and walks it. unknown Ronin proverb. That's what it says. There's no name to it. But yeah, I think that's kind of a cool idea. But if you like the video, like, share, subscribe. And if you love me, then don't hate me. And if you like me, then don't fight me.